Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just popping on just for a few minutes. Wanted to come on as this is the month of domestic violence awareness. I come on often. I share and post and do lives from time to time across all platforms in reference to domestic violence. I share not just only in the month of October, but I also share as often as possible, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. And the reason being is that domestic violence happens more than 31 days out of the year. And the reason why I say 31 days is because October has 31 days, and that is um, the number of days that domestic violence has more awareness coming about across the world. But I want to encourage everyone to understand that domestic violence happens every second of every day. Your sister, your mother, your friend, your frenemy, your associate, your church member, your work friend, someone you may have encountered, came across, is dealing with some type of abuse, whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, or sexually. There's so many forms of abuse, and it's sad. Come on in the room, come on in the room. I just want to come on briefly this morning. I'm in the Houston, Texas area. As you come in, say hello. Let me know where you're from. And I thank you for coming and spending a few minutes with me on this morning. But like I said, I just come to share, to bring about more awareness in reference to domestic violence. Again, I mentioned a moment ago, it happens every second of every day. Several people, men and women. We hear more about women being abused, but men are abused as well. My T-shirt says love shouldn't hurt. It doesn't. When a person gets with another person, which is their intimate partner, they don't look for that intimate partner to abuse them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But it does happen. I'm a survivor. I'm an overcomer. I'm thriving. I'm an author and I'm a speaker. I do keynote speaking in reference to domestic violence and in reference to life overall. I'm a voice for the voiceless. I did not have a voice. And when God took me through my transformation, my metamorphosis, He told me that I had to be a voice for the voiceless. He showed me the butterfly to encourage them to find their wings and fly, to free themselves from being in bondage because He didn't put them here to be controlled. Control. That's where it starts. He or she controls you. That's where it starts. They start controlling you. They start controlling you. I'm sorry. The sun is really, really, really out today. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I'm loving the sun. I need that original vitamin D. But again, again, I come here to talk about domestic violence and encourage people to speak up and speak out. Encourage people to be a listening ear for someone that you may know are some kind of way they're in your space, and you may see that something is not right with them. I encourage you to be there for that person. Help that person. Be that listening ear. Sometimes they don't need. Sometimes you don't need someone just to give you advice of what to do. You may just need, or they may just need someone to listen to them. They want to be felt seen and know that they can get through this because someone sees me and they see that I'm needing someone to help me walk this through. It's not easy walking out of a relationship that you gave your all and that you thought that you was going to be in for life. I never saw myself getting a divorce. I never saw that. And it took me so long to leave that marriage because I felt as though that I'm a failure. But then I had to realize it wasn't my fault. I didn't do nothing wrong. Now, I fault myself for staying too long. I fault myself for allowing it to continue to go on. But I promised myself, never ever would I allow myself to stay in a place to where I'm being controlled, being told I can't do certain things, can't go certain places, can't have any friends. Isolation. Mm, I'm a loner. I've always been all my life, even as a child growing up. I've always been a loner, and I think that's because God pretty much set me apart when I was little, and I always wondered why. Why? I see girls having a lot of friends, boys having a lot of friends. Lord, why is it that I don't have that? My best friend was my aunt, who's 14 months older than me, my mother's baby sister. She was my ride or die. Um, People knew we was related, even not knowing our names. I've had people to see me and say, "I know who you are. Your sister." I'm like, "That's not my sister. That's my aunt." They described her to the T. Told me what she was driving. I'm like, "That's my aunt." But we grew up like sisters. But back to the story. I'm a domestic violence advocate because I thrive in after abuse. I dealt with it all. But I've encouraged myself through the process that God has given me each and every day to don't allow that happened to me to stop me from being free, from being the woman that He's created me to be, and to continue to show up for the people that needs to hear my voice so that they can get strength to know that this too shall pass. They will get over this. They will find their way. And again, leaving a relationship that you thought was going to be forever is never easy. Even though by the time I left my relationship mentally, I was gone 10 years prior. My mind was gone 10 years prior. I had nothing left for that relationship. But I did what I need to do, the necessary for being the wife and the mother until I felt comfortable with knowing that God actually gave me the green light. When He gave me the green light, oh my God, I went full force and get into action and doing what I need to do so that I can free myself, so that I can make sure that when I go to sleep at night, I can wake. I can go to sleep in peace. And then when I wake up that next morning, I can wake up in peace and not in pieces. I want to encourage you, women that think that because He's not hitting you, that it's not abuse. If He's stopping you from going to church, that's abuse. I had that. I can get fully dressed, me and my children, and He will stop me at the door. Or He'll stop me before I even come out of the bedroom. The bedroom. You're not going nowhere. Okay. Mental. Mental abuse is very hard as well. Because what that does, verbal and mental, what it does is make a woman feel as though that she's not worthy. She's not worthy. She's not enough. She's less than. That she just here to be your punching bag. Not necessarily a punching bag by just hitting you, but punching bag for whatever you want to get off your chest. You can just put it on that person. Come on in. Come on in. Hear what I'm saying about domestic violence. I wear purple lipstick often in honor of domestic violence because it's the color for domestic violence. But also, it is my favorite color, always been forever, forever. Purple means royalty, and I'm a daughter of the king. If you have a question, but you may not want to put it in the comment here, and you want to send me a message, do so. I will reply back to you. If you don't mind sharing my live, I would greatly appreciate that too. I would greatly appreciate that. Connect with me on a continual basis so that we can even do more deep diving in reference to domestic violence. How you can plan an exit strategy. How you can set yourself free to be you, though the fearfully and wonderfully made woman that He created you to be. How you can fall in love with yourself and know that I matter. I matter. So any domestic violence women that is listening to me now and is going through it right now, I want you to know that you are loved, you are liked, you are needed, you are wanted, you are valued. You are smart, you are anointed, you are God's daughter. There's favor upon your life, and don't allow nobody to take that, to continue to take that from you. Find your strength, find your voice, and say that I love me enough, and it is time for me to say no more. It is time to say no more. Take your power back. I know it is not going to be easy. And people always say, well, why do people say it's not easy to leave? They have to think into the factor of the children. They may be threatened by that person. It could be a lot of reasons why one does not leave once it's dark. They may not have anyone to help them get through this and leave this, to just be that listening ear, because so many people are judgmental. So many people are so judgmental. Again, domestic violence happens every second of every day. So just say, I've been on here for about 10 minutes. It's been about 1,000 people that is already in this 10-minute time, if not a minute. It's been about 1,000 people that is already in this 10-minute time, if not a minute. It's been about 1,000 people that is already in this 10-minute time, if not a minute. It's been about 1,000 people that is already in this 10-minute time, if not going to make sure that I show up for me in ways that I never showed up for me. I'm going to be that voice for myself. I'm not going to allow no one to do this to me anymore. Forgive yourself for staying too long. Forgive yourself for allowing it to go on way too long. Forgive you. And as you continue to forgive you and walk your journey out, you will be set free from any and all things. Show up for you. Don't allow that intimidation and whatever that person may try to do to bring you down. Once you decide to find your voice, get up. Just get up and just speak life over you. Because remember, it's your life. You matter. You matter. You matter. I wasn't intending on coming, but I was up. I had to run a quick errand, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead on and pause, because it just kept dropping my spirit, because I haven't did a live in a couple of days in reference to domestic violence. But know that it happens every second of every day. A man or a woman is abusing another person, which is their intimate partner, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. Physically, yes. Lately we've been seeing so many. I don't know about men. I haven't checked the status for men, but we've been hearing how so many women has lost their life to domestic violence because he couldn't stand the fact that she didn't want to take his abuse anymore. He couldn't stand the fact that she decided to choose her. When I chose me, that was the best gift that I could have given myself at that time. I chose me because choosing me helped me to walk out my healing and walk that out in a way that, oh, blessed my life, blessed my life. Now, I'm not saying it's been easy since I've left that because that was the breadwinner. He was the breadwinner. But I'm in peace and not in pieces. I'm in peace. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. And not in pieces. If you hear and if you survived, put one purple heart. And if you hear you're going through, give me two purple hearts. But do know that even if you're still in it, you can start your healing and you can start the process with that exit strategy. And the first thing is to just start loving you more. Start loving you more. Start showing up for you more. Take back control of your life and start doing the things that you like and wanted long before he came through. I was a teenager when I got with my ex-husband. And by the time I left, which is a couple of decades later, I everything that I wanted to do in my early 20s, it was out the window. But when I came out of it, I had to find out who Clara, at the age that I was then, who she was and what she needed for her now and going forward. And as I continue to evolve and continue to be that vessel, I continue to show up for those that I know that need to hear. I was on a panel not about a couple of weeks ago, and I had to do, speaking in reference to domestic violence a couple of weeks ago, and the questions that some of the ladies had asked me, and it was a man that asked a question as well. It just broke my heart in so many ways because so many people think that domestic violence has a look, and it doesn't. It doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a look. When I'm sharing my story, when I'm sharing my testimony, people look at me and say, but you don't look like. But what does someone that's been abused look like? What does abuse look like? I'm not going to say it that way. You look like what you give into. I chose not to give into looking like someone has dogged me out, been beating me like crazy. I choose not to do that. And I think that was one of the things that he may have hated the most. Because every time his friends came around, which was pretty often, they complimented me in some way. He was very jealous. And when they left, of course, I knew what was going to happen. And sometimes I wish I could have been able to say something to his friends before they even came around and let them know, don't even compliment me because this is what happens. And they knew what was going on. They didn't realize why a lot of times it was happening. And they felt, because one young man felt powerless. And when he saw it happen, he came by the next day and he said, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. His name was Christopher. He said, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. But I wanted to come by and tell you and apologize to you, but also to tell you that I cannot be friends with him anymore. After that, I cannot be friends with him anymore. And my heart just dropped just to hear that, because it blessed my heart that someone really, really realized that he was toxic, and it was not just me. But he was so much younger than my husband, or my ex-husband, and he felt like that there was nothing that he really could do other than just remove himself from that friendship. But in the end, I thanked him for that, and I thanked him for standing up for himself and saying what he could not be around because he do not want to have that spirit on him because that was not the person that he wanted to be. He was not married. He had no children. But he was looking up to my ex in a positive way. But when he saw that, it just put a nasty taste in his mouth. Now, I'm not here to bash my ex-husband. I'm not here to bash him. Um, we're cordial because we have children and grandchildren. And at the end of the day, I had to not just forgive me, but I forgave him. I don't forget. But I also had to realize that even in the midst of all of that, me leaving everything, he's still my children's father. So I'm still going to have to be seeing him from time to time. But I'm not that Clara anymore. So whether it's him or another man, they cannot talk to me a certain way. They cannot even think that they can manipulate me in any kind of way. Know who you are and set the standard and set the tone for how one is to treat you. That's why I always date myself. Once I came out of that marriage, he took me through a healing of dating myself so that I would know going forward when I'm ready to build relationship with people overall because I didn't have friends. He didn't allow me to have friends. And the couple friends I had was basically due to my children being in school, in elementary school. I connected with a couple ladies. There was one lady I met when I was pregnant with my second child. She really bun-bored her way into my life because she saw, without, she wasn't for sure, but she saw that there was something that was not right, and she was much older than me, but we was both pregnant at the same time. Um, and we're still in each other's lives, still to this day, and it's been decades. And I'm thankful to her at all times. But I encourage you women that is going through or that has gone through, become that butterfly. Find your peace. Find you. Love on you so much to where you won't allow nothing or no one to steal your joy or come in your life and rob you of your peace and what your desires are for your life. Being in a relationship that is toxic, they will stop you from achieving all that you want. And that's what I dealt with. That's what I dealt with. But God, as time went on, I was able to become more of who I desire to be. I'm still becoming. I'm still learning. I'm still teaching. I'm still being present in my life and my children's life. And I'm showing up in a way to where I'm making sure that I'm available for those that needs to see and hear a person that is walking out life after abuse, life after divorce, life after whatever. Because you choose and you set the tone how you to move accordingly in your life. As you continue to embrace you, as you continue to walk out your life's journey, continue to love on you, continue to date you, continue to like you, and show up for you every day because you matter. If you stop showing up for you, then what? Don't never stop showing up for you. It is a blessing to show up for you. It is a blessing to show up for you. So I'm going to get up off this phone, this live, so I can go into this store right quick and enjoy the rest of my day. I may come back on, but again, if you have questions, yes, I've written a book. It's on Amazon. Um, it's on Amazon, and the name of the book is Becoming the Authentic Me. Removing the Mask. I'm sorry. It's Removing the Mask as I Become the Authentic Me. Uh, it's not a physical book as of yet. I need to get with Amazon again so that I can, because there was an issue with the cover for their format. So I got to get that right with them. But yes, you can go to Amazon, Remove the Mask as I Become the Authentic Me, by Dr. Clara L. Peters. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. If you have any other questions, um, you can send me a message. You've written a book as well? Okay. Awesome. What is the title of your book? I was, like I said, I was just coming on just for a few minutes just to talk about domestic violence, um, and to encourage all to pay attention to those that you are around. Um, let me share this before I get off this live. I went to speak at a college. They invited me to come and speak. And after I finished speaking, I had a dialogue with a couple people at the school, but a lot of the young ladies came up and talked to me and asked me questions personally. But there was a couple ladies. I had to just go up to them and just give them a hug and whisper quietly in their ear to let them know that they're loved, they're needed, they're valued, and their life mattered. And the reason being is because when I was sharing, as I was speaking, I'm looking around the room, um, and no matter where I'm at, no, whether I'm at church preaching from a pulpit, no matter where I'm at, I am always looking around, and there's always someone that I can tell that's having an issue. That's why I always say, pay attention to the people in your space because you never know who may need a word from you at that moment. You, that sun is blocking me. So if you just put something here, I may not see it. God turned my tears into stars. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. He turned your tears into stars. Congratulations on your book. Congratulations on your book. I'm going to have to go and check that out. But I had a dialogue with uh, the people that brought me to the college to speak in reference to domestic violence and life overall. And I told them which ladies I need them to watch and to possibly see if they can get them or help them get some counseling because my heart really dropped from them. Those young ladies that could be, they was young enough to be my daughters. And it just broke my heart, and I just really just wanted to just take it all away from them. And people see them, and one of the young ladies that I pointed out, they were shocked because they didn't see that one coming. It was like, but I was like, well, when you look at me, what do you see? And they went down the list. I said, so why is she any different? Why is she any different? I've had men and women to tell me, but you don't look like you've been through anything. I've been through hell and back. When I was going through dealing with him, I was even put out on the freeway at two something in the morning, beaten and left there for dead. And I probably would have just went on and just gave into it. But because he had my three babies, there was no way. There was no way. So I got up and I fought my way to my babies. They were my strength. And to this day, they are my whys. That's why I keep waking up. They give me that breath. They give me that I need to keep going, to keep being me. And even at one point early on when I started sharing my testimony, I paused and I sent a group message to them asking them how they feel about me sharing my testimony. My son, he calls me baby. And if he say mama, something's wrong. He just immediately called me. He didn't text back, he called me. He said, baby, this is your story. And if you were helping people, and from what I've seen, you are helping people. Share it. That's what God has called you to do. That's what was done to you. You didn't do it to you. So as you continue to walk this thing out, make sure you get the healing that you need. Make sure you love you enough each and every day to show up for you. But I always tell people, take your power back. Take your power back. Because a lot of times, a man or a woman, because women are doing it as well, they're only, when it first happened, they're testing you. And they see that they was able to do it. So they do it again, and they do it again. If you stop them from doing it, and that's by taking your power back, they won't continue to do it no longer. And if they don't want to stop, then you need to say, you know what, I'm gonna choose me. You don't have to even tell them. My ex-husband didn't see it coming because he never thought that I would leave. He never thought I would leave because he knew that I did not want to say anything to my family. He knew that I did not want to fail at marriage. He knew. He knew. But I was tired. I was tired. But I was tired. I was tired. But I was tired. I was tired of not having a life. I was tired of not being able to just be free to be Clara. I was tired. My first year, um, it took me 3 years to get my divorce. But my first Christmas, um, that was like maybe 7 or 8 months after I filed for divorce. Um, my kids was gone. They were with him. My oldest daughter was already grown with her family by the time I left that relationship. So, but anyway, a girlfriend of mine called me because she was at home recuperating from surgery, and she called me just to see how I was doing. And I told her what I was doing, and she was like, "You should be out enjoying life now. You free. Why you at home?" Because I'm good with being home. It's becoming free from that. It wasn't about me being able to go, 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 go. It was about me to just have peace and just have the peace that I want and desire in life. And so we talked for a while. Her husband was laying next to her because she was in bed. He was snoring. I can hear him snoring. And she was like, "Well, sis, I'm gonna come over there and watch the movie with you because I not the movie, the play." And this was I was watching one of Tyler Perry's plays, and I said okay. So she lived around the corner from me. So she came over. And, I'd already showered. I had on my pajamas, my Christmas pajamas, and she called me back. She said he wants to come. I said, tell him fine. Come on. I'm not putting on no clothes. I have on my pajamas, and I wasn't expecting no company. But if he wants to come with you, he can come. So he came. He brought his popcorn. I said, you get over there. Don't even talk to us. You know where the kitchen is. You know where the bathroom is. And if you want to go into one of the other rooms and watch TV or whatever, he said, no, I'm gonna do my popcorn and I'll be back in here and I'll be quiet. So she and I talked. We all watched the play and whatever. But I told her it was more about finding my peace. She understood and she supported that. And as time went on, she did something for me. One day I came home from work and I was rearranging some things. I was doing some things and I didn't know she was there. And she, because I drove, into the garage and went in, from the kitchen. And when I got in there, she was there and she proceeded to, I see what they had done and whatever. She proceeded to take me to the front door. And once at the front door, she opened it and she said, go out. And she walked out as well. And she said, 1 minute. And she went back in, closed the door, and locked it. I was like, she locked me out of my own house. So I rang the doorbell and she opened the door and she was like, hey, how are you? She said, come on in. So I went in and she closed the door and locked it. And then she said, how does it feel? I said, I have peace. She said, so that's what this was. So that really, she saw what I needed. She saw what I wanted, and she helped me by doing a little finishing touch to giving me just that. So I thank her for that. She hugged me, love you, Chica, and she left out and walked home because again, she lived up the street. I mean, right up the street. But so it's good to have friends that you can lean on any kind of way. And this is a friend that became my friend through my children. Me and her daughter met in second grade, and that's when we became associates and we became friends, and we're like sisters right now. We're like sisters, and we talked back and forth pretty much all day yesterday, which doesn't happen that often. We talk often, but yesterday was one of those days. The day before yesterday as well. It was back and forth, back and forth, but good conversation. Always supporting and loving on each other, and I don't take those type of friendships for granted. Um, and I love the three real friends that I know I have, and their support system. Just we support each other in every way. So I encourage you to find a friend that can not just be a friend to take from you, but also support them as well. Um, and they support you and you support them. Y'all there for each other. Y'all got what I'm saying. Um, for each other. Y'all got what I'm saying. Um, for each other. Y'all got what I'm saying. Um, for each other. Y'all got what I'm saying. Um, ooh, my heart goes out to you and your family. How are you doing? How are you doing? I know it's hard. One thing I've always said, and I'm supposed to bring that out of here, off here. Don't just cope with it. Don't cope with it. Don't cope with it. Make sure you keep her memory alive. No matter what, make sure you keep her memory alive. Do some of the things that you think that you may know that she wanted to do but didn't get a chance to do. Celebrate her. Don't allow her voice to continually be silent. Allow her voice to still keep ringing every day. Allow her voice to still keep going. Be her voice. Be her voice. But like I said, celebrate her. Keep her memory. Be her voice. But like I said, celebrate her. Keep her memory. Be her voice. But like I said, celebrate her. Keep her memory. Be her voice. But like I said, celebrate her. Keep her memory alive. Keep her memory alive. As I was about to say, and then I'm definitely going to get off here. Um, because I don't want my phone to die. Um, you're welcome. You're welcome. God bless you. You're welcome. Um, I Hoovy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One thing I would never understand, and no one, I don't think no one will ever understand, why a person feel as though that they can control someone, they can abuse someone, and they can take someone's life because they choose them. They can take someone's life because they feel as though that they can because that person is not doing what he wants them to do. Uh, you would never make me understand why a person do that. And I've tried to understand it, and I've tried to understand it, and I always come up blank. Why? Because there's no reason. There's no reason for you to raise your voice at me. There's no reason for you to call me out of my name. There's no reason for you to put your hand on me. There's no reason for it. Because, number one, you don't want it done to you, so why would you do it to another? I had one friend guy of mine tell me that when a man gets to a point to where he wants to control a woman in every way and abuse a woman, he's a coward, and he can't control men, so he take out his frustration and what he wants to. He take that wanting to control someone out on the woman that he's with and say he loves, and when he starts, he don't know how to stop it or suppress it to where it gets worse and worse and worse. Stay connected to me. Stay connected with me. Stay connected with me. Um, I'm gonna go ahead on and get off this phone. I may come back later. Um, I share often, like I said, in reference to domestic violence, in reference to life overall. And it's never easy. Even though I've been out of that for years, it's still never easy because people look at you like you're crazy. But you know what? That's on them. Because each one of us have gone through something or dealt with something. It just may be in a different form. But at the end of the day, I only have to answer to Him. I have to answer to Him. So God has put me in a place of peace, joy, happiness, and love. And as I continue to walk out this life, I'm going to continue to show up and speak and be that voice for women that are going through or has lost their life to it. I've even had his family, some of his family was shocked. One really apologized to me because she really didn't want him with me, but when she realized what I've gone through, she apologized to the utmost because they never thought, everyone thought he was this good guy because they saw me always looking good still, always um, presented. You never caught me in a T-shirt. You never would catch me in a T-shirt. But sometimes I wear T-shirts based on certain things. And this T-shirt, usually my T-shirts fits me, but I got this at a domestic violence event, so it's a little big on me. So it's like the words cannot really be seen. They say love shouldn't hurt, but I normally don't have on T-shirts. I'm always well. I'm still looking good even with the T-shirt on. Let me just say that. But anyway, just in reference to what they assume was that because I always look good, and my thing was to them, y'all forgot who I was, who I am. Before I got with him, my parents, I didn't leave the house any kind of way. The six of us children, we didn't leave the house any kind of way. Period. My daddy made sure, my mother made sure. They took us shopping about every weekend. There was no reason. Presentation matters because if you look good, you feel good. Number one. But I'm his daughter, so why shouldn't I look good? But they assume that because he kept me looking good, and I had to let them know he didn't keep me looking good. I kept me looking good because even though I was going through hell with him, I was Helen and Isaac's daughter. I made sure I kept looking the way they had us when we was growing up. I can been just been beaten that morning, and when I left the house to go for whatever, no one would never know. I hid my scars. And when we went home, he made sure, whenever we went home to the country, he made sure that the timing was in a place to where they wouldn't suspect anything. I didn't share with my family until I filed for divorce. They were upset, but I had to tell them I had to do it my way. Because if I would have said something early on, my dad would have came and got me, my children, and took us back to the country. I didn't want to go back there. So I did it my way. So it took me a lot longer, but also I had to make sure. I'm one of those preachers. I done ended it almost 3 or 4 times. But anyway, this is definitely going to be the last. Um, I didn't want to be one of those people that left and went back, left and went back, left and went back. I wanted to make sure when I left, I wasn't going back. So I prayed and 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 just asked God to release me from this in a way to where I would never go back. Not saying things was right for me um, in every area of my life. It wasn't. But by the time I left mentally, I was right where I need to be. Because when I did pull the trigger to say it's time to file, I knew I was never going back. If I would have did it before then, I know I would have went back. That's true. You do know when you've had enough. You know when you've had enough. And I knew when I had enough, even before, because I would say this. I had checked out of my marriage 10 years prior to me filing for divorce. I kept going through the motion and showing up how I needed to show up because I need to make sure that I can handle me so that I can be right for me so that I can be right for my children. Number one, I hate I stayed as long as I did. And I hate the word hate, but I do. But I'm thankful that when I got out, I still was in my right mind. My oldest was already grown and gone. The youngest two was one was in elementary, one was in middle. Um, the only thing that I can say I can thank my ex for is that he gave me three beautiful children. Three right now, three amazing adults. Um, I'm thankful for them. They're my wives, and I have seven beautiful grandchildren, ranging in age from 2 to 23, and I have three beautiful great grandchildren. I'm a blessed woman. I'm a blessed woman, and I'm happily single. People keep trying to rush me, but I'm happily single. I've been in a relationship, but I'm just not going to be cheated on. I'm not going to be talked in a way. I'm not going. I just refuse. If I'm a wife, not a girlfriend, so until I know that the man that God has for me, I am happily single. I've even told God He probably going to have to come down and pimp up me and say He's the one because I refuse. I refuse to just continue to be somebody's girlfriend when I know I'm a wife. I'm good. I'm good. I am good. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Thank you. But I've enjoyed my time here. Stay connected with me. If any of you all ever go on live, let me know. I will be coming back more doing live, sharing and talking about domestic violence, even just having a dialogue. If there's something that you all would like to talk about, let me know so that we can have that dialogue and we can just build a community, be that support system um, for someone. But know that I'm here. If you just need someone to talk to, like I have an ear. I have two good ears, and I will just listen. I will let you talk, and when you want something, some feedback, I will give you that. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful, saturated Saturday, and know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper.